Hello my friends, in today's video we will take a look at Zhiyun Cinepeer Weebill 3E. The main purpose of the 3E is to offer core features and capabilities of the Weebill series in a more affordable and simpler package. You can basically think of it as a back-to-basics version of the 3S. In this video we will take a look at the performance and the features of the Weebill 3E, mainly with Panasonic S9, which has proven to be a very good match. As you might have noticed, Weebill 3E is very similar to Weebill 3S. It is sold as Cinepeer, which is Zhiyun's budget-friendly sub-brand. The most important thing is that you are getting the same stabilization performance in the same form factor as with the Weebill 3S, but at a much lower price point. Some of the advanced features from the 3S are not available to keep the complexity and crucially the cost down. I will explain that throughout this video. The biggest highlight of the Weebill series has always been the small size and the lightweight design, and that continues to be the case. The Weebill 3E weighs 990 grams and it fits on a A4 format paper. Much like the Weebill 3 and 3S, it uses crane configuration with a vertical arm. The batteries are now stored in the handle, so there is no need for an additional compartment under the handle. The main visual difference between the 3E and 3S is the grey color of the handle on the 3E. The form factor is the same. Comfortable sling shooting is another signature feature of the Weebill series, and it is still possible with the Sling Mode 2.5 handle and wrist support system carried over from the 3S. It can be attached to the gimbal using a quick release system. It is much more adjustable than the 2.0 version and, in my opinion, a lot easier to work with. Besides the sling mode, it also works great for double-handed use. Instead of just stating a set maximal payload, Zhiyun prefers to provide a list of compatible camera and lens combinations. I have tested it with Panasonic S5 II, S Pro 24-70mm f2.8 and magnetic variable ND filters. This combination weighs about 1.7 kilograms and it is quite front heavy. This kind of setup is still completely fine on the Weebill 3E. On the other end of the spectrum, I have used it with an S9 with a 26mm f8 pancake lens weighing about half a kilo, and that works completely fine as well. Despite the price, the build quality is not compromised in any way. The arms are metal with plastic inserts and the rest of the construction is made of high quality plastics. I can actually say that it feels like a premium product. I have no issues with the build quality whatsoever. The base package comes with a table tripod, Manfrotto plate, and cables for connecting the camera to the gimbal and for charging. That pretty much covers all of the basics. Weebill 3E is very easy to balance, much like other Zhiyun gimbals. It has a locking mechanism on all axes, which is helpful for balancing and for transportation. Tilt and roll axes use levers instead of screws, which also makes the balancing faster. All of the axes are very easy to move, so fine adjustments are very easy. A fairly new feature in the Weebill series is an option to mount the camera vertically. It is straightforward, you just need to switch the mounting base from horizontal orientation to vertical. Vertical filming is very popular nowadays, and I am pretty sure that this will be a very useful feature. Weebill 3E also has an auto-tune function much like most modern gimbals, and it works very well. Only the pen axis has unlimited motion range, but that is the one that matters, so it is fine. Much like previous Zhiyun gimbals and most other gimbals on the market, it uses Manfrotto plates. Included plate doesn't have an ARCA QR system, but you can easily get one from SmallRig. It allows you to use any ARCA compatible plate, including my favorite Peak Design standard plate. It even has a safety pin for those. The performance in terms of the stabilization, motor strength and the response of the controls is the same as with the Weebill 3S. And that is a very good thing. Much like the 3S, it uses Zhiyun's 10th generation algorithm. The motors are very strong and responsive considering the size of this gimbal. In my experience, it performs pretty much like a full-size gimbal. A very important part of the performance for me personally are the parameter settings. The Weebill 3E lets you adjust absolutely everything. If you take some time to find your ideal settings, it will behave exactly as you want to. The most important performance-related aspect is, in my opinion, the predictable nature of the response, and you will certainly get that with the 3E. I mainly tested this gimbal with Panasonic S9. These are a really good match in terms of the size. The S9 features a very interesting in-body image stabilization system carried over from the S5 II, which is optimized for walking. When you combine it with the Weebill 3S, it is just pure greatness. This combination basically makes everybody a ninja walking expert. You don't even have to try particularly hard. The S9 IBIS helps a lot with the vertical or Z-axis, so getting the flying camera effect is super easy. In the past, you would need a large full-size gimbal to achieve really excellent smoothness, but now it is possible even with this kind of ultra-compact combination. I have tested the Weebill 3S, which again offers the same performance, with Sony a7 IV. It doesn't have as effective in-body image stabilization as Panasonic, but you can still get very smooth footage with that combination. I'm also very happy with the joystick. The speed of all three axes can be adjusted separately, and I was always able to get very smooth panning using the joystick. Overall, I am very happy with the performance of the Weebill 3E in combination with both Panasonic and Sony. Needless to say, I am also very happy with the size to performance ratio, which has always been the main highlight of the Weebill series. I also really like the ergonomy of the 3E and the 3S. The grip has the right thickness and a very nice rubber padding. The part with the joystick and the display also allows you to rest the weight of the gimbal on your thumb and index finger. That makes the use a lot more comfortable, especially over longer periods of time. The 3E has a 1-inch monochrome screen. It is not the most modern way to change the settings. Having said that, after a year of using it on the 3S, I have to say that I can generally change the desired settings using the wheel on the right side faster than with a touchscreen. It requires some time to figure it out, but after that it can be done very effectively. The joystick and the two most important buttons are placed within the reach of your thumb, which means that you don't have to loosen the grip to reach it. It works very well for me personally. Mode switch is also well placed and easy to operate. It lets you cycle through 3 base follow modes, and double press lets you cycle through POV, Vortex and Portrait mode. There is also a video recording button, a configurable trigger button and a controller wheel. Weebill 3 has all of the usual follow modes such as pan follow, pan and tilt follow, POV and so on. I have explained those in the Weebill 3S video, which will be linked in the description. Worth mentioning is the Vortex or Vertigo mode, which is very popular among the content creators. Zhiyun has made 2 cost-saving measures with the Weebill 3E. There is no fill light and no USB-C port for the follow focus motor. I think that these are reasonable choices, but in case that you want them, the 3S is still available. Weebill 3E also has Bluetooth shutter functionality. It is very easy to set up and it works great with Sony cameras. Unfortunately, Panasonic cameras are not supported. Controls via cable are still available, of course. Weebill 3E still uses the ZY Play app, which is very reliable. It offers comprehensive parameter settings, it works great as a remote control, and I haven't had any issues with the firmware updates. It uses 2 260 mAh integrated batteries. That should give you about 16 hours of runtime. That is 4.5 hours more than the 3S and an excellent battery life, especially when we consider the size of the 3E. To sum up, the 3E is in my opinion one of the best Weebill gimbals. It has all of the signature strengths of the series. It is small, light and it performs really well. It adds another big strength into that mix, and that is the excellent price. Even if it had some weaknesses, I would be able to forgive it a lot at that price point. It doesn't really have too many weaknesses though. The display is outdated, but the controller wheel allows it to control the user interface very effectively even without a touchscreen. Other than that, it does the usual Weebill stuff very well, and that is mostly to provide excellent performance in a very compact and light package, again with the addition of that excellent value. Also worth mentioning is the Sling system and the vertical shooting, which is a very valuable capability nowadays. It may not be the fanciest gimbal out there, but it certainly gets the job done. Overall, Weebill 3E is an excellent compact gimbal with outstanding size to performance and importantly price ratio, which means that I can highly recommend it. So that's it for this video, thank you for watching, I hope that you liked this video and that you found it to be useful. Stay tuned for more videos and maybe consider subscribing if you don't want to miss my future content. I appreciate your feedback in form of thumbs up or thumbs down. If you would like to ask anything or share opinion, please do so in the comment section, and see you next time.